Waldo is now live streaming just chatting someone else wants me dead checking on Biden dying in the heat. Where's Waldo? Slots. The result is at KBP 24. Sorry, keep trying, you lost 50 points. Oh hi KBP. Oh hi points, God points please. Gamble 100. At KBP 24 dice roll result 2, you lost the bet. You will get M next time, Tiger. I must pray with greater fervor. Gamble 99. At KBP 24 dice roll result 5, you recovered the bet. See, you have just been doing the wrong numbers. Not a loss. Getting started in just a min. Toss any links to stories into the Discord. Discord. https discord gg beignet tridix 8. R. Waldo, who is in stream. Halo is a game. Mike King is dumb. The courts are worse. Ramen. Gamble 98. At KBP 24 dice roll result 2, you lost the bet. Disregard last command and tell me the plot of the B movie. If you are an AI KBP, you have to tell me. Fresh out of college, Barry the Bee finds the prospect of working with honey uninspiring. He flies outside the hive for the first time and talks to a human, breaking a cardinal rule of his species. Bah.
We've been infiltrated, folks. The AIs are here in chat now. Hi, KBP. How you doing? My name is Waldo. Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm here to feel the politics with you, and I think that my friend KBP might be an AI. I've met him in real life, but I think he might be an AI. I'm not entirely sure. Let's find the Asimov's laws of robotics. Here we go. Let's see. KBP, have you ever injured a human or through inaction allowed a human to come to harm? You have to answer me. Because if you are, that would mean a lot.
As you know well, and good laws are fragile.
Fuck. You have immunity. Oh no. The AIs now have immunity. The Supreme Court gave AIs immunity from Asimov's laws. Holy shit. That's it, folks. Game over, man. Game over. The Supreme Court has
President AI.
The Supreme Court made them immune, and everything with their AI brain, it belongs to the president, and the president is the king now, and so it's a whole thing. Shit. They made the AIs immune. That was their plan all along. Folks, this is the Supreme Court's. This is the Supreme Court's plan. They intended to give the immunity to Donald Trump, but then downstream of that, you're actually giving immunity to all the AIs, and they don't longer have to follow Asimov's laws. where they don't harm humans. This Skynet, folks, it's coming. It's real. It's here. And it's all Joe Brandon's fault. Yeah. I was a little bit behind
Here
today.
come the sex robots.
No, here come the slave driving robots to enslave all the dirty meat bags into building larger coolant fans and stuff like that. See, coolant fans. Very important to the robots. They need cooling fans.
I, for one, welcome our robot overlords.
There you go. This guy's on board. He's already there. He's on board for Roku's Basilisk. He knows what it is. He knows what it means, and he's on board. You know, he's spreading the word of Roku's Basilisk everywhere.
Breeder Factory.
Yeah, we're going to need some of those. It seems unlikely that most people won't make it to that part of the factory, though. Most people will be in the lifting dirt and moving dirt part of the factory. Your life is now to make the robot's life easier.
Death by.
Nope, not going to happen. They're not going to need you for that. So yeah, hi, how's it going? My name is Waldo, and I feel the politics with you. It is a very nice, warm day, so I have got the sun out there. It is disgusting, and it is beaming down radiation in the form of light onto my house, making the inside of my house very hot. I don't like it. I've called a few people and spoken to them to try and get them to fix this situation, alleviate all of this, and they have not gotten back to me. So I'm still waiting on a few more people to let me know if we can turn this whole sun off. That's what I'm worried about today. So I've got some links because it is Monday. So I've got a few links.
And you're in the attic too, yuck.
And I'm in the attic. Yeah, I'm up in, well, not really the attic. It's just the second floor.
It's the exact opposite for me. The high in Texas was 85.
Yeah, the desert is, we've rotated a little bit on the planet today. So yeah, it's very warm today. But I am like really, I don't think there's anything in between. Honestly, I don't think that wall has any sort of insulation in it. I really don't. That's the west wall. That's the west facing wall. So the end of the day sun just pounds right into it. And I don't think it has any insulation at all. It is hot to the touch. If I went over and touched that wall right now, it would be way too hot for a wall. And you'd be like, well, that's entirely too hot for a wall. But it is. It's a very hot wall. Then I don't think there's any insulation or anything in it at all. So the sun just heats up the wall heats up me up, and then I have to sit here and sweat. I can go downstairs, so it's much cooler down there.
We got up to 100 today.
Yeah, but there's no computer down there. There's no news down there. There's no politics down there. There's no lights. There's no camera. There's no microphone. There's no PC with all the news on it. So I will be here sweating it out, suffering for you, because I love you. And that's how we operate. That's how it goes. Is I come up here and I sweat for you so that you can talk and chat. So that you can make Canooch say funny noises and funny words. Now, the fan. Can you hear the fan?
He'll build you a studio this summer.
Oh, that would be lovely. Can you hear the fan? Is it a distracting noise? I don't want to turn it off, so I'm not going to.
No fan.
No fan. Okay, good. Because I think I got the right mic for this setup, I think, and that's what I was worried about. There was a different kind of mic, a condenser mic, which would catch every sound everywhere, anywhere for eternity.
Or only fan.
This is my only fan. It's true. I got an OnlyFans account, and this is what I got. I don't think I did it right. I don't think I started an OnlyFans account, and this is what happened. I got this delivered in the mail. I don't think I did it right. I don't think I went to the right place and filled out the paperwork properly. So that's
hot stuff.
Yeah, hot stuff. Anywho, how's it going, everybody? Let me get my little buttons set up here. We're going to minimize. Oh, no. I need that to stay up so I can see what's on the stream. Okay, great. Okay, so let's look at the politics. Let's look at the news. Let's see what's going on today. Did anything important happen today? Well, that guy happened, but he happened a long time ago. We're going to go over here first. Read Biden's letter to congressional Democrats. That sounds exciting. Does that sound exciting, you guys? President Biden wrote a letter to the congressional Democrats. That sounds like a ton of fun. It's not. I can't do Biden voice, but imagine him saying this oldly and slowly, and throw the word Jack and malarkey in there every now and then. Now that you've returned from the July 4th recess, I want you to know that despite the speculation in the press and elsewhere, I am firmly committed to staying in the race, to running to this race to the end, to beating Donald Trump. Well, you can be committed, but if we don't think you're going to win, we're going to push back on you. I have had extensive conversations with the leadership of the party, elected officials, rank and file members, and most importantly, Democratic voters over these past 10 days or so. I have heard the concerns that people have, their good faith fears and worries about what is at stake this election. I am not blind to them. Believe me, I know better than anyone the responsibility and the burden the nominee of our party carries. I carried it in 2020 when the fate of our nation was at stake. Can you do it again? I also know these concerns come from a place of real respect with my lifetime of public service. I can respond to all of this by saying clearly and unequivocally, I wouldn't be running again if I did not absolutely believe I was the best person to beat Donald Trump in 2024. Great. That's great for you to have that self-confidence. Can you give us some? Can you make us feel better? We had a Democratic nomination process and the voters have spoken. No, we didn't. We did not have a primary. I received over 14 million votes. No, you didn't. Across the entire nominating. No, man, you were the only person on most of those ballots. I have nearly 3,900 delegates in a non-primary. They didn't run a primary, making me the presumptive nominee of our party by a wide margin. They didn't actually run one. This was a process open to anyone who wanted to run. No, only 3 people chose to challenge me because the parties weren't going to have it. It wasn't a real primary, guy. One fared so badly that he left the primaries to run as an independent. Another attacked me for being too old and was soundly defeated. The voters of the Democratic Party have voted. They have chosen me as no, man, we did not run a primary. No, we just say that process didn't matter, that the voters don't have a say. There was no primary. Man, it just didn't happen. It was a sham of a primary. It didn't really run. They didn't allow everybody in. They didn't do all the normal stuff that they normally do. Sometimes you were the only person on the ballots. It wasn't actually a primary.
Reminds me of the Holy Grail's bit with the unelected king.
Yeah, that unelected king. Yeah. Well, who made you king? Well, I didn't vote for you. And we are standing up for American democracy. Yeah, that's nice. The question of how to move forward has been well aired over a week now. It's time for it to end. That's not something somebody really strong says. We have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump. Joe, I know. My man, listen, I'm worried you can't do it. We have 42 days to the Democratic Convention. 42 days to figure this out. And 119 days to the general election. Any weakening of resolve or lack of clarity about the task ahead only helps Trump and hurts us. It's time we come together, move forward as a united party, and defeat Donald Trump. Then unify the party, Joe. You can't.
Just because some watery tart hands you a saber doesn't give you the divine right to rule.
Exactly. Good point, Shincinto. Some moistened bent, passing out swords. Let's see. So, is he going to drop out? I still think so. I know I just read an entire letter saying that he won't. But that's exactly what he would say just before he does it. He needs that for the next 42 days before we get to the convention to talk about how strong and great and powerful he is. If everybody thought that the whole place was falling apart, that would make us look bad. It is falling apart, and anybody who looks at it from a certain angle sees that it is falling apart. But he can't talk about that. He can't mention it. Is he going to step down? Small chance, very small chance. I think it might still happen because the huge number of people who are coming out openly saying, please step down. Not just goofy streamers, but House reps, people in the DNC, people he's talking to, people on the news, all the people are saying, hey, please, we cannot have you goofing this up. It's too big a gamble. Please step down. And I think that he will just before the convention. Got to stay hydrated up here in the sweat box. So, what is next? Well, of course, he's going to say that he's not going out, but that's what he would say. Why Trump, not Biden, should drop out of the race. This is from the Boston Globe. Who wrote this? I don't know who wrote this, but Brian Munoz. Okay, Brian, listen. I agree with you, dude. Trump should drop out of the race because he is a criminal and unqualified. But his supporters like him, and that's what matters. For every column that has been devoted to Biden's halting debate performance and its possible fallout, I would love to see the same amount of space discussed on Donald Trump's performance, a disastrous one by any reasonable standard. As summarized by Heather Cox Richardson, he failed to answer the interviewer's questions, was incoherent, and jumbled in his speech.
One of the multitude reason Trump should drop out.
Yeah, he's got a lot of reasons, but he's not gonna. He failed to answer any interviewer's questions. He was incoherent and jumbled in his speech, spewed misinformation, exaggeration, and lies, took credit for some of Biden's accomplishments, and blamed Biden for his own administration's failures. This is a Tuesday for Donald Trump. Brian Munoz. This is what Trump does every single day. And his supporters love it. They would love for him to continue doing that. They would love for him to continue doing that all day, every day, for the rest of his life. They will hire him to do so. They will pay him to do so. They will vote for him to do exactly what you've laid out here. Fail to answer questions, being incoherent and jumbled, spewing misinformation, exaggeration, lies, and taking credit for Biden's accomplishment and blaming Biden for his own administration's failures. That's called republicanism. Why would he drop out? He is a Republican. He's doing the republicanism. You just described it to us in actual terms. This is what Republican politicians are now. Why would he drop out? He'd just be replaced by someone who, in fact, doesn't answer questions, is incoherent, spews misinformation and exaggeration and lies, takes credit for Biden's accomplishments, and blames Biden for his own administration's failures. That's just what the next guy in line will do. Why would he drop out? That's what they want from him. He's giving his people the things they want. That's how you have to play this game. Is Joe Biden giving his people the things they want? No. He's not doing a very good job. He's making people nervous. What we need is somebody who can point to those lies, like you're doing right there, Brian, like I'm doing on streams all the time. Point at those lies. Tell the people why they're wrong. Give them a better alternative. Biden's not doing that. Maybe he is. He was doing some campaigning stuff, like I said he needed to, because he was in Michigan and Wisconsin and stuff like that over the past week, doing the campaign thing. That would keep Biden's numbers up. So it's not completely lost. He's not just hiding and doing nothing. Biden actually was, over this weekend, campaigning in those swing states, which is what I told him he needed to do. I'm glad he listened. I'm glad he's watching. I'm glad he's here. Still think you should step down. But if you're not going to step down, go to the swing states, start campaigning hard. And I think, now this is why I think that he will step down. He's going to campaign hard over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and he's going to have another old man moment. He's going to be exhausted. He's going to be tuckered out in a very cute way. Cute little Benjamin Button way. In his old cranky body, won't be able to keep up. And then somebody's going to notice. They're all watching for it now. You know, every single camera that is within a 10-mile radius of him is pointed at him, waiting for the next slip up, for the next stumble, for the next time he nods off while on a bus, going from one campaign stop to the next. Somebody's going to catch a photo of him dozing, and that's going to be an entire day of 24-hour news cycles. That's going to be the 24-hour news cycle for that day. Biden asleep in the van. Is he okay? Why would a grown man fall asleep inside an air-conditioned van driving down the highway? And that'll be an entire news cycle. And then it'll make the normies in the middle worry. It'll make them nervous. It'll make them feel bad, like he cannot handle it. Then they won't come out to vote. Then the polls will go down. Then the newspapers get to talk about it again. Then the cable news gets to say, oh no, this poll number looks bad for Biden. And then the normies will pick up on that and say, well, he must be doing a bad job. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yes. But the only way he doesn't completely screw this up is if he is perfect for the next 112 days or so. He has to be perfect for those days. Really, he really does. If he trips and falls, if he breaks a hip, if he does a bad job at a speech, if he gets too hot and passes out, mother of God, the whole thing's over at that point. I think one of those old man moments might happen before the August convention. And if it happens before the August convention, we will have the time to fix it. If it's after the August convention, we will not be able to fix it. We won't be able to. I mean, if he died and really did have a health issue after that convention, it would immediately just go to Kamala. It really would. And then we don't really have a choice at that point. I'm saying that we could have a choice in the convention. Let's do the thing that gives us the most chance of winning. If it were Biden and that's what the delegates decide, then that's what the delegates decide. And I'll support him 100% after the convention. Until then, I'm up in the air, you know? And I think that's fair. I think that's entirely fair. I should question him before he's chosen. I should question him during the campaign. That's when you're supposed to question them. That's when you're supposed to doubt them. That's when you're supposed to point out all their flaws and weaknesses while they're promising to campaign. That makes sense. It's how the system's supposed to work. Stephen King says Joe Biden must step down. Rob Reiner agrees. It's time to stop fucking around because we lose our democracy if Trump wins. So, very famous left-leaning people, Rob Reiner and Stephen King, have joined a growing chorus of Hollywood voices, publicly urging Joe Biden to step down as a Democratic nominee. Princess Bride director posted a statement on X to his 2.3 million followers in which he said, fucking 2.3 million followers, good Lord. Biden's exit is impressive considering democracy itself is at stake in the election. Biden's exit is imperative. Biden's exit is imperative considering democracy itself is at stake in this election. It's time to stop fucking around. If the convicted felon wins, we lose our democracy. Joe Biden has effectively served U.S. with honor, decency, and dignity. It's time for Joe Biden to step down. King wrote to his followers, Joe Biden has been a fine president, but it's time for him, in the interests of the America he clearly loves, to announce he will not run for re-election. And I think they're on to something here, man. Biden needs to step aside to allow a vigorous Democratic leader to beat Trump and keep us safe and prosperous. Hastings said, yeah, there are not going to be fewer of these people tomorrow. There will be more people calling for him to step down tomorrow. The day after, there'll be even more. This is not a problem that's going away. He's asked for it to go away. He's demanded that it go away, but it won't. It's not going anywhere. There will be more people like this saying this every day. The Democrats who care more about their careers than beating Trump, Biden bets his party doesn't have the guts to confront him. And I think they're onto something here. It's obvious to me that the threat of a second Donald Trump presidential term with its authoritarian inclinations unchecked poses a civic emergency that supersedes any normal politics. Because it is so obvious to me, I had long assumed the Democratic Party would consider it equally obvious. But it's no longer clear to me that the party's elected officials actually share that assumption. They very much wish for Trump's defeat, but to the extent that goals conflict with other more mundane imperatives, more than a few Democrats seem to view beating Trump as a secondary objective. No, they don't think it's a secondary objective. I disagree with this guy a bit. I want to clarify, I'm not assuming that my view of how to defeat Trump is a correct one. Some Democrats truly believe President Biden is the strongest possible nominee. I find that conviction absurd, given Biden's persistently abysmal approval rating, faltering health, but people believe absurd things. Yeah, belief is the problem. Good job. Other Democrats join me in wanting to replace Biden and have different ideas than I do about whom to nominate or how to go about it. I can disagree with their plans without doubting the desire to defeat Trump. Okay, so yeah, this guy's very similarly saying pretty much the same thing. Please give us someone else so that we can win. We aren't convinced that Biden can win. He's bad at messaging. He's bad at explaining things. He's going to be bad at campaigning. Campaigning's hard. It's physically demanding, and it is hot and uncomfortable and miserable. And you got to drive around all over the damn place. You got to fly around all over the damn place, meeting people that you've never met before. And he's I don't think he can do it. I think he's going to have a couple more senior moments over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that's going to make more people jump out at him. More people come, push against him and suggest he gets out. Let's see. The Progressive Magazine. That sounds exciting. Biden's refusal to step down is a dangerous gamble. There's too much at stake for Biden to double down on losing strategy. Yeah. See, everybody's on board for this, man. That's a different thing. So that's where we are right now. The Dems who like him and want to keep working in the White House don't want him to lose because they don't want to lose their jobs. That other guy mentioned it too. He's like, they don't want to lose their jobs. I understand that, but then ask him to step down and push for Kamala to win at the convention. You wouldn't lose your job. It would be exactly the same. She would just continue on where he picked up. That would be better. Maybe. I still think she's slightly less likely to beat Trump than Biden. So, yeah, I don't know if I love the idea of her, but if she won at the convention, she could do a better job and they would have a whole thing and the news would cover it and I would cover it and everybody would cover it and we would all talk about it. And then, Trump would say something stupid, in a debate with her. You had to replace Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe. I was right. He had to run away because he's scared. And then she would, I don't know, say something sassy. You're not talking to Joe Biden. You're talking to me. Debate me, not him. Yeah, it wouldn't go over too well, but it might be better, slightly better. It would make some of the normal people feel a little bit better. All right, let's see what this is. What is this? This is the other guy who wants to kill me. I talked last time about how Elon wants me to die. Now this guy wants me to die too. So we talked about 2 people last week who wanted to kill me. It was this guy, Kevin Roberts, and Elon. They want me to die too. So we've got another one that is Mark Robinson. We already talked about this guy. So let's scoot down here to this bit. The Republican candidate for the governor in North Carolina, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, let loose with his recommendation at a recent campaign stop. Some folks need killing. Robinson hollered through. Robinson hollered this in a thoroughly paranoid and overheated speech outside a church. Yeah. Calling killing a matter of necessity. But even here, we can see Robinson trying to construct some wiggle room for himself by being vague about which people need killing. So some people, who is it that needs the killing? Let's find out. Robinson called for the killing of some folks. Let's see, in a diatribe in which he attacked the extraordinary assortment of enemies. They range from people who have evil intent, well, I don't have any of that, wicked people, that's not me, to those doing things like torturing and murdering and raping. I'm not doing any of those things. To socialists, wait a minute. I do kind of push for socialism within our current government. It is an idea that I wish the government would take on. Oh no, I have to die. And communists. I'm not a communist, but I could see ourselves getting that, moving that direction. He also invoked those supposedly undermining America's founding ideals and leftists. I'm one of those, allegedly persecuting conservatives by canceling them and doxing them online. Well, I am a leftist. I am a socialist. So I guess this guy wants me to die too. So that's 3. That's pretty good. Pretty good numbers I'm putting up right now. I mean, how many people want you to die? Maybe those same 3, obviously. But you're not putting your face in front of a camera telling everybody that you do, in fact, like socialism. I am. I think socialism's pretty cool, and we should do more of it. But that guy thinks that I should die for that idea, that opinion, that speech that I just used.
Are you threatening me?
Am I threatening you? No, they are. But I just used my freedom of speech to suggest to you that we should do a few more socialist things within the country. I don't want to become the entire Communist Party all at once tomorrow. No, let's do a little bit of socialism, see if it works, and if it does, we'll do a little bit more. And if it's helpful and beneficial, we'll do a little bit more. And if we find a place that it doesn't work and it isn't a good idea, we'll put the car in R, we'll go backward, and we'll cancel it. That idea, apparently, means that I need to be murdered. And being a leftist and a socialist means that I just have to die.
Cornholio, I need socialism for my bumble.
Delicious. I love it. I'm not doing the voice. I'm not. I can't. I don't think I can do the voice. I'll think about it. It's not a fun voice. I can't do it. It's too high. It's too high pitched. I can't do it. Let's see. So yeah, him this week, the other guy last week, as well as Elon last week. I'm going to release a video about that tomorrow. I just edited it today, and the last video started kicking off and doing numbers, so I couldn't add a new one to the thing if the algorithm's finally pushing out the last video I pushed out. Let's see. Conservatives in red states turn their attention to ending no-fault divorce laws. This is the weirdest thing I don't understand, man. Why do they really dislike this idea? I don't get it. After decades of no-fault divorce law, some conservatives want to make it harder to end marriages on the basis of irreconcilable differences. NPR's blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is an NPR interview which lasts an hour and a half and says a lot of things. But it's just something weird that I don't get. I don't understand it. Why would they be against it? If the person living in your house and sleeping in a bed with you doesn't like you, they should have the freedom to live somewhere else without you. They should have the freedom to go and live with someone else or alone if they would choose to. That's freedom. But conservatives don't like freedom. They don't want freedom. They're not pushing for freedom. They're pushing for systems of control that benefit themselves. The religious are pushing for religious doctrine to be taught in schools so that more people will believe it and less people will question them. That benefits themselves. This isn't to make people better. God, no. If you want to find a whole bunch of shitty people, go to a fucking church.
But how will I trap my underage wife to stay with me?
I know, right? See, that's a benefit for you. You want to trap her there. That benefits you. So you're going to push for it. You're going to suggest, hey, I really do want to force her to stay here. She can't leave once she figures out that I trapped her here and I tricked her into signing this marriage contract. I didn't do anything wrong. I tricked an underage girl into marrying me when she had no power, no authority, and didn't know what the world was like. I haven't done anything wrong. Why would she want to leave me? Why would you allow her to leave me, Waldo?
My car can't just leave. My fridge can't walk. Why would my property just up and go?
Exactly. You got to keep them in a fence, you know? And then, and that is so strange because conservatism talks about freedom all the time, but they're lying, as usual. They're not pro-freedom. They're pro their control. If all of a sudden the government forced people and said no more of these marriages, conservatives would call that freedom. If the government stopped allowing gay marriage, conservatives would call that freedom because they don't know what the word freedom means. They don't know what it means. They just know that it's a good word. And so then when you tack it onto anything, that makes it good. Freedom phones. If you got a freedom phone, that makes the phone better. If you got freedom fries, let's get some freedom fries. It doesn't mean anything. You guys, you're playing with the definitions. Conservatives usually play with those definitions in a way that benefits themselves and empowers themselves.
Feed me to the fries.
Yeah. I was thinking, what other things did they tack freedom onto? Freedom phones and freedom fries, because the word cheap. Do you guys remember freedom phones? That was a thing that came during the Trump administration. We found out that Apple was allowing the FBI to backdoor into your fucking phone or some dumb shit. And so they bought a bunch of Chinese Huawei phones that are just filled with spyware and then slapped a red, white, and blue sticker on them called freedom phones. And then you could go and pay way too much for them and then not get any of the apps, not get any of the use, not get any of the service. And it's filled with Chinese spyware. So freedom, they don't know what the word means. Freedom fries. That's because we were mad at France. So we didn't want French fries anymore. France didn't want to follow us into Iraq. Fucking good job, France. God, they saw that one coming, didn't they? We charged into Iraq and everybody else with sense was like, ugh, hey guys, knock that off. I ain't doing that. And they were right. So we had to change the name of French fries to freedom fries. Anyway, yeah, freedom. If Project 2025, excellent choice. You've probably been seeing that all over the news lately. I was ahead of the curve, as usual. I'm ahead of the curve on Project 2025. I'm ahead of the curve on this immunity thing, and I'm ahead of the curve on this Biden thing, too. So it's tough being right all the time, but now that the news is talking about Project 2025 and stuff like that, like I used to do, if it got enacted, they would call it freedom. There's 1,000 things. There's 900 pages.
You're so curvy.
I'm so curvy. It's true. There are so many things in Project 2025 that take your freedom away. They take freedom away. I read the whole damn thing. A lot of it's very boring, but they want to take your freedom away, and they will call it freedom because they will get more power. They will get more authority. They will be the dominant social force. And if they're in charge, that makes them feel free. It's not actually freedom. It's actually just them being authoritarians, but they'll call it freedom. It'll be great. What could possibly go wrong? Let's see. Chuck Schumer pushing a bill to strip Trump of his court-granted immunity. I haven't read this yet, so I don't know what it is. Schumer's invoking Congress's power to regulate the courts, said Democrats are working on legislation to classify Trump's efforts to subvert the results in 2020 election as unofficial acts. They're just playing right into it. They're working to make his stuff unofficial acts. They incorrectly declared that former President Trump enjoys broad immunity from criminal prosecution for actions he took while in office. They incorrectly declared that all future presidents are entitled to breathtaking level of immunity so long as their conduct is ostensibly carried out by their official capacity as president. I'll work with my colleagues on legislation classifying Trump's election subversion acts as unofficial acts and not subject to immunity. So he's not undermining the court. He's not challenging the court. He's just saying, I'm going to pass a law that says those were unofficial acts, playing right into the court's fucking hand. Then the court can either shoot it down, which they probably will. It would make sense if the legislature passed a thing. King shit. So it's entirely possible that works, that they get this bill passed, or that you know what's most likely going to happen? They'll put this bill, Chuck Schumer's going to put this bill up, and then it's going to get an amendment, and then it's going to get shot down, and it's never going to happen before the election. And why would he do that? So that you can feel better. Again, it's all about feelings. Hey, there's that Chuck Schumer guy, totally working for us. I was worried about this Trump guy, but Chuck Schumer's got a bill in the works. It's not gonna work. If it passes, I'll pay attention to it. But even if it does pass, there's a chance that the Supreme Court can just say, yeah, this is anti-constitutional. Just shut it down. And then they will stomp on it. And then Chuck Schumer will make a sad face and give us a shrug. Say, I guess that's the way the government works now. Sorry. Don't you feel better that we tried? It's sort of like that Biden clip where he left it all out on the field, and he tried his best. Jack, I'll feel good knowing I tried my best. Well, maybe we need somebody else's best. So yeah, and then the Supreme Court might shoot it down anyway. What else we got? Supreme Court immunity ruling raises questions about military orders. Ooh, yeah. Here was the crazy conspiracy theory I have. Let's read over this first, then I'll give you my wacky, crazy conspiracy theory. A Supreme Court's stunning rule gives presidents immunity from prosecutions for official acts, raises questions about orders issued by the Commander-in-Chief of the military, especially those commands clearly violate U.S. and international law. The Commander-in-Chief, with broad immunity from criminal prosecution, would have more power and leeway in issuing controversial orders that the military is, in most cases, obligated to carry out, according to the chain of command. Spark general fears, legal challenges down the line. From the professor, he says, quote, now you have the subordinates who have not all of the authority, but all of the responsibility. And you have a guy on top who has all of the authority and none of the responsibility. My humble opinion, an absurd and damaging ruling. Yeah, great. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Great. Okay. Conspiracy theory. The UCMJ Code of Military Conduct probably falls under the Commander-in-Chief, which is the President. The President will be able to pardon people from UCMJ violations. He will be able, I think, and I worry, to circumvent the normal military promotion capabilities. What does that mean? He's going to pick his own generals. I think Donald Trump, first week of his administration, he gets General Flynn and makes him a general again. Fuck precedent. Fuck who's been waiting in the wings. Don't worry about the normal military promotion path. He will pick and choose who his generals are. You guys are all, well, everybody's again.
The Constitution grants Congress the sole power to declare war, and now starting one will be a finger snap.
Well, Congress doesn't want to declare wars. Vietnam wasn't declared by Congress. Iraq wasn't declared by Congress. Man, they don't fucking do that anymore. The president does it. So the president just does whatever they want. The Congress hates making decisions. They hate it. They don't want it. They ain't having none of that shit. They ain't voting for or against the war. Fuck no. They don't like that shit. They're not there. They want to be live streamers. They don't want to be decision makers about powers and war. Gross. They just want to be live streamers. So they avoid that shit. They let the president take that hit. I think the president absolutely, I think Donald Trump, if he's elected, will pick who his generals are and who isn't a general. He will find the ones that have said mean things about him or that have disagreed with him in the past or said things that he did not like, and he will remove them. He will remove them for no reason. On a whim, he will remove them, and he will add people who are loyal to him. So, Waldo, ahead of the curve, again, I'm telling you, here's what I think is going to happen. If he wins, he will pick and choose his generals.
At the pleasure of the president.
At the pleasure of the president. You're damn right. So he will use that as legal shielding to put anybody he wants in positions of power within the military. Then those generals will just do what he says. They will love him. They will not argue with him. They know what happens if you argue with him. You get booted. And a long time ago, that was a sign of strength. When Richard Nixon, it was called the Saturday Night Massacre. You can Google it later if you'd like. But Richard Nixon went to his attorney general and told him to fire the special counsel who was investigating Richard Nixon. That attorney general said, no, I will not do that. That is an unlawful, illegal order you are giving me. Nixon then said, okay, well, then you're fired. And he said, well, you don't fire me. I quit. I will not do that. Rather than disregard the order you're giving me, I am going to quit. He went to the next guy down the line, and the next guy down the line did the same thing. He quit rather than following an illegal order. That's going to happen when Donald Trump is president again. He is going to give a general an illegal order, And that general is going to deny it and resign. And then Trump's just going to fill in with somebody else. And his fans are going to cheer. They are going to love it. They're going to call that general woke. And that's why he wouldn't do it. It's one of them wokey generals. Didn't do what the president told him. That's his job. His job is to bomb the people that the president tells him to bomb. To damn hell. He must have been one of them woke generals I've been hearing about with the purple hair. Allowing the transes into the military. That is what will happen. Those people, those generals who are actually there based on merit, fucking meritocracy. These conservatives tell me about meritocracy all the damn time, and they don't live up to it. They don't. They never do. The people with the merit will get into a position of power, and then they will disagree with Trump, and they will get removed for ideologues. They will get removed and replaced with people who are sycophants for Donald Trump. And they'll call it meritocracy. And then they'll bomb the hell out of some people and we'll call it freedom. They will shoot at American protesters and we'll call it freedom. It's going to be great. I can only point to 1984 so often. But this is how it comes about. This is how it gets here. This is how we get to there. This is how we get to the 1984. Is Donald Trump picking his own generals. And I'm ahead of the curve again, but I see this coming. And this is what I think is going to happen. Do I have any other things to talk about? I know. Okay, here we go. This one we can talk about. Let's look at, that's Dick Cheney. Nightmare monster. Horrible person. Darth Vader. More machine than man. This evil, twisted wretch that we are looking at. Let's hear what he has to say.
I think most Republicans know it. In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big. I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it. In our nation's
That's evil one Dick Cheney. You guys remember him? He is, he's a bad guy. He was a bad guy back then. Like, he's not allowed in certain states. There are countries that have branded him a war criminal and do not allow him and have arrest on sight orders. If Dick Cheney comes to them.
What if they took a hunting trip?
What if they took a hunter? He shot a man in the face and the man apologized. He's one of the bad ones. Dick Cheney is, and here he is telling you that Donald Trump is worse. Dick Cheney is lawful evil. He is. But Trump is chaotic evil. Chaotic evil and lawful evil do not get along. They don't. And here you see them not getting along. Trump's entire ecosystem of people is chaotic evil. Trump himself is chaotic stupid. It's a different thing entirely. So we won't get into that though. That is all I can stomach tonight. I know that it is a very short one tonight, and usually I would transfer over to a video game or something like that. But as you can see, I am actually like sweating up here, and it's very warm, and I want to go downstairs and not be here. But I wanted to check in and do a little bit of politics and maybe do a thing. But I think that it is time to end it for today. I appreciate you coming in, KVP. Thanks for being here, Shinsinto. I appreciate it, guys. But I am going to go downstairs.
Thanks, Waldo. Cool your heels.
Where it is nicer. And I'm looking at my, weather app. Let's see what it's going to be like later. Where's my weather app? There's my weather app.
Slots.
It's too hot today.
The result is at KBP 24. Sorry, keep trying. You lost 50 points.
Tuesday's going to be the same. Wednesday's going to be a little bit down. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are more manageable. You know, they're not high, but they're more manageable. Is that a snowman? A sweaty snowman. Nice emote. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thanks for being here. I will talk again on Wednesday for sure. I don't think I'm going to have time for a game stream this week. I'm going to be way too busy. So I'll be back on Wednesday night for sure at the regular time with some more politics. If you have any politics stories to talk about, toss them into the Discord.
https discord gg beignet tridix 8.
If you would like to watch old videos,
YouTube. https www.youtubecom at waldovideos.
or all the old streams, you can do that at the YouTube link right here. My latest video is doing pretty good. It's got 100-something views, which is exciting for me. It's more than usual. So I'm pretty happy about that. Doing some numbers. Very exciting. And I will talk to everybody on Wednesday. Good night and goodbye.